I'm going to go ahead and show you how to set up an assessment with a password. And the main reason that you'd want to set up an assessment with a password is because when an assessment is still open, students can't go back in and see what questions they got wrong specifically. So let's say you have an assessment open from a Monday to a Monday. The student takes it first thing, and then they have to wait a whole week to see exactly what it was they missed or what concepts they didn't understand. So if you have a password, it will allow them to view or review the test that they've taken right after they've taken it. So I'm going to go ahead and show you that. We're going to try it with this week 14 test 1. No, I changed my mind. Week 13 quiz. Let's do that one. You see how it's closed now. This is an old quiz, so it's a 2017 quiz. What I would do is I'd go to Manage Assessment, Edit Settings, and we have kind of a strange glitch in PowerSchool, and this is one of the places you can see that. You can see that if an assessment is due on November 28th, let's say you want to keep it open for that whole week, it opens the 28th, it's due December 4th. The actual due at date shows as the from date instead of the to date. So that's something that's a little bit wonky. We have to work on that. We're actually going to, remember, make it within our semester. So I'm going to make it September 7th, 2018. I'm going to make my from date and my to date the same thing, and therefore my due date will show properly. Let me show you what that looks like. So I'm going to go back to this week 13 quiz. Now it shows as September 7th of this year. Go back to Edit Settings. And now we know that in PowerSchool or in PowerTeacher, this is going to be your due date. And it will just help you with eliminating some of that confusion, because students get very confused if they see two different due dates in two different places. Now I'm going to click on Restricted Access, which will take us in to allow us to set up a password. I'm going to add this password for taking, and this was the week 13 quiz. I'm going to make it super easy. I always show password to make sure that I spelled everything right, and you might actually even want to put the password for taking in the instructions for the students to take the assessment, so they always know what it is and you won't get a lot of questions. Then click Save. Then you're going to be allowed to add a password for reviewing. And again, I want to make it super easy, and I'm going to call it Review. And you'll want to make sure that your students know that the review password is review, or whatever it is that you decide to make it, so that they can go back in and view their work right away. And again, I want to leave it open anytime so that students can go back in and say, oh yeah, I remember on test 1 I missed that whole section on cells or whatever, and it will help them study for upcoming tests as well. Then I would click Save. Done, and I'll show you what that looks like. So we'll go back down to our week 13 quiz. Now it shows as NA here for the date, and it shows as restricted, which means you have a password set up. If you want to change or manage your passwords, now this button shows up here, and you can always go back into the edit settings if you'd like as well.